I'm literally going not even paycheck to paycheck right now. Um, but the money's not the issue. I'm worried about my kids. I did literally do everything I possibly could to give my kids the best future and safety as possible. And I'm at an end route. So I'm lost on what to do.
Thank you so much for jumping on the podcast. And I can't believe that you've been going through this for this long. That's wild.
Since 2013, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So how'd your thing go tonight?
It was very awkward. So we lined up outside the school until the doors opened. My ex kind of blew right past me and had my son on her right side. Kind of made her way through the crowd so my son couldn't see me. I had to yell out, hey Jackson, come here, say hi. In my hand I had the court order, which is a small stack, but
Yeah.
I dropped some of them, which is a small part of it. She hurried up and snagged my son up and kind of just disappeared in the crowd. I went up to the office desk and I talked to the lady up there. I said, hello, my name is Ron Dorrance. I talked to you yesterday. And she was, yes, sir. I'm a very polite lady. And I told her, I said, I never knew anything about school when it was starting. I never knew nothing about tonight until I called them yesterday and they told me about it. I haven't got no emails, no letters or anything. And she pulled me around to the back and she looked up the paperwork. And just like every year since he's been in kindergarten, my name's not added to the list, my
Yep.
phone number, my email, or nothing like that. She goes, well, this is odd. This doesn't make any sense. I said, well, I had to do it every year. Well, every year up to fourth grade with their elementary school. And what it was a narcissistic mother talking to a bunch of women that believed her side. And it took me until I had my lawyer call the principal
Wow.
and
You
say,
had to go that
hey,
far.
I had to go that far. And we talked about where we were going to go to the district school meetings. And we are talking about, father's rights and how we handed him the divorce decree. Well, we wasn't even married, but the court order, stating that I have equal parenting. I don't have equal parenting rights for visitations, but I'm equal as a parent, as a decisions. I need to
Yep.
know this, that, about every part. But after that, me and the principal actually sat down and talked about things. And we actually became friends. It was strange because she will rather, out of nowhere give me a call, how things going this summer, how are the boys, what's new, what's happening, keeping in touch. And the first 4 years, kindergarten to fourth grade, it was, oh, here's Mr. Dorrance again.
Right. But I
You
mean, you,
felt
you
that.
probably came at her very polite, very kind of the way you're talking now. So she was like, "Oh, I don't see anything wrong with kind of what's going on. Maybe I should listen to him instead of portraying
It,
that thing on him."
it could have been, but then when, after we got to knowing each other, she goes, well, Ron, you're a big guy. You got this big beard on. She goes, you're kind of intimidating. And I told her, I said, well, the big beard was just actually the first year I grew it out, but I volunteer as Santa Claus in the
I
wintertime.
love it.
So
That's
this
awesome.
is first year's actually grown out this long, but I volunteer for Santa Claus, so I explained to her the beard. It does put about 20 years on me. I'm actually only 44 years old.
Oh, it does. Wow. Yeah.
So started going gray right after my second was born, and it just rapidly.
Yeah.
So my natural color you can't tell, but it's brownish. So
That's funny. Yeah, those school situations definitely are awkward, and it sucks because I'm in a similar situation, but I hate going to those school events because it's always the mom will jump in, try to block whatever, and the kid, your kid sees it, your kid sees what's happening, but then he also probably feels very weird, like, oh, I want to go say hi to dad, but clearly mom doesn't want me to go say hi to dad. How do
that's
I deal with
absolutely.
that? Especially a young kid. How do they deal with it? So,
I absolutely feel that way. My sons told me that. I said,
yeah.
look, just know that I'm there, son.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, don't make it feel awkward. Just know that I'm there. I'm here to support you.
Yep.
So,
Man. So yeah, if you want to introduce yourself, and we can talk a little bit about your story and your situation, wherever you want to start, if you want.
Sure. Excuse me. My name is Ron Dorrance. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska area. Grew up in Omaha, moved to Iowa until about 3 years ago. Uh, my kids their mom started going to a bad way with their oldest son, and I seen it happening. I seen that progress is going on, so I moved back to Bellevue, Nebraska, where they live. At that time, I've been trying to fight for 50-50 custody. I sold my house. I drained my retirement. We had court this spring, which I lost, and we still are baffled on why. We're 6 months into waiting on two appeals because we still think the judge made his wrong decision, but we know how that works. During that time, her oldest son was taken away from her and sent to a boys' home where he's going to spend until he's 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I am trying my best to avoid having my boys falling down the same path, in which they are rapidly doing so.
Yep.
My first court case was October of 2013. I don't know how much in depth you want me to get.
Kind of wherever you want to go. I mean, I'll jump in real quick and say how you were talking about it's taken forever, and what sucks about that situation is your kids are just getting older and older and older and older, and it's almost like nothing's happening for this whole amount of time. Well, by the end of it, my kid's going to be 18, and then I don't even need to worry about it at that point, which is very, very frustrating.
Yep.
I can only imagine for you.
It's extremely frustrating. It's depressing. I mean,
Yeah.
your emotions as a father, it goes up and down. You know, you go from depressed to angry at the world. I've known guys that turned into drugs or alcohol or suicides even.
Yeah.
I recently quit. I didn't recently, but I quit drinking probably about 5 years ago. I was a heavy drinker, but I concentrated on more of my sons on what's more important. But the stress it causes on my sons, they even talked to the judge this court session and told the judge what they wanted. And no matter what I feel towards their mother, I'm not trying to take my kids from their mom.
Yep.
I wanted 50-50 custody, 7 days on, 7 days off. And that's what my boys want. And they're loving the idea, especially now that I live, minutes away from their mother. I can go out to my back porch. I can watch them walk from school to my house. That's how close we are now.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is your time frame that you have them now?
Right now, June, July, and August, I have them week on and week off.
Yep.
After August, it's every other weekend.
Because of school? Or that's
No,
what they claim?
That's what the court ordered, every other weekend.
Huh.
Whereas my kids say it 11 days, 3 days, 11 days, 3 days, or 4 days.
Right. And going from 7 days, seven on, 7 off, to then back to the weekend, every other weekend is strange.
That's how it's been since 2013.
Wow.
Yep.
Jesus.
So, but yeah, according to the judge, I coached my kids into saying what, like I'm going to read the judge's mind, this is what you're going to ask my kids. But the judge says I coached my kids into saying, what they wanted to say. The kids were nervous around a judge, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
Questions, I thought the answer questions are probably going to be yes and no and not getting too many details. But it broke their heart when they found out, that I didn't get 50-50.
Yeah.
And so this appeal, it's my last go around. My money is drained. I'm literally going not even paycheck to paycheck right now.
Yeah.
But the money is not the issue. I'm worried about my kids. I did literally do everything I possibly could to give my kids the best future and safety as possible. And I'm at an end route.
Yeah.
So I'm lost on what to do.
And that's what's tough. So you have 2 boys?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what's tough too is, not to bash on any mothers out there, but especially boys, they need their father or at least a male figure in their lives more so than not. Like you said earlier, her oldest son went to a boy, an all boys thing, went away for a little bit. So it's like if he had that male role model in his life growing up, it might have been a little different.
Well, the thing was, he did have the male role model. His father was in his life, but his mother brainwashed him so bad to make him hate his father.
Yeah.
And so when visitations came, excuse me, from what I understand, I don't know the whole story. The kid didn't do good in school, or he brought home a bad report card or something. So at his dad's house, he took away his PlayStation or Xbox, whatever it is. So he claimed that's abusive.
Oh
And so
my
his mom
God.
fed that to him and keep
Yeah.
feeding it. And so his dad came and picked him up one day. It's his weekend visitation. And I guess he couldn't get his Xbox or whatever it was back. So driving down the interstate, the kid tried jumping out the car. The father reached over and grabbed the kid by the shirt, pulled him back in. He told the cops that his dad slapped him.
Oh
So
my
he lost
God.
all legal rights to his father, or with his father.
Yeah. And then it just went downhill from there.
Went down. He's got 5
Jesus.
counts on theft, car theft, drugs, weapons, alcohol, and this was before he turned 16.
Unbelievable.
And my kids were under the same roof. I started hearing that. I started seeing that. My lawyer pulled it up. He was wearing an ankle bracelet by 17. I have got to get down here. I've got to get my kids out of that environment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I failed.
Damn. I mean, it's tough because the only thing you can do is what you're doing is showing up. I mean, you literally uprooted your life to be near your kids and hopefully have a life with them. But it's, the ex is not making it easy for you, which is
Not at
very
all.
tough. Yeah.
A lot of
Damn.
fathers go through it.
Yeah. What's some advice that you would give some dads out there?
My biggest thing that kept my sanity was I go to work and I wear a hard hat. I get upset, I get depressed, I take off my hard hat, and inside my hard hat's a picture of my boys. Huge smiles. Instantly cheer me up.
That's awesome.
Or I'll watch
Yeah.
videos with my boys on the phone, or thinking about their future and their determination on giving the best future as possible. But that's also comes with the struggle on, you're trying your best, but you keep getting kicked down. But you don't want to give up because that's your kids. You don't want them to end up in a boys' home.
Yeah.
you know. I have done some, I don't know if it's sneaky or illegal, whatever you want to call it. My kids are huge into sports. Baseball is one of their biggest sports. They just love it. They won state champion this year.
Oh, nice.
I never played baseball, so I don't know where it comes from. They wanted to try it, fell in love with it, and whatever you got to do. So I enrolled them in baseball. So I'm at every baseball practice. I'm at every football game. Whether she likes it or not, I am sitting right there on the sideline.
And that's what matters the most is what they'll remember that.
They
Yep.
know I'm right there.
Yep. Yeah.
All the her little cronies or a couple of her football friends were at court calling me a bad father and such and such. My lawyer produced over 46 pictures of their kids over my house. We took them to pumpkin patches or the baseball games or the World Series.
The
And I'm a
ones
bad father.
the ones calling you a bad father.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as they're doing their little gossip or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm sitting in my chair and I'm watching my kids play ball, not paying attention. Let them run their mouth. I'm here for my kids.
Yep. Yeah,
So-
that's awesome. Oh, that's so
what made me-
frustrating.
Their happiness is what keeps me sane. So
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe that it's been just so long. 11 years and still not the needle hasn't moved much for as much as you've done and sacrificed.
I can pull up in this court order and show you where she grabbed my kids and disappeared with them for over 30 days. I had to hire a lawyer and a cop to find my kids.
And the judge did nothing about that.
Not a thing.
What was said? What did they say?
Well, I even got it on recording because I started wearing shirtless and I started putting a recorder in there.
Yep.
And her saying was, "I no longer live here. I will see you in court." And I calmly replied, "Well, 'cause this is my oldest son. He was, Jesus, he's getting out of diapers at the time.
Yeah.
That's what Ryder's doing pretty good, going without a diaper. I'm telling him how the weekend went. And I calmly said, well, if you're moving, I need to know where you're taking my kids. It's none of your business. I don't want you to be the father. We're leaving. I could play it for you on recording. I played it for the judge on recording. And so she disappeared. She moved from Iowa to Nebraska, which is illegal because she
Right.
crossed over state
Contempt.
lines.
Yep.
Did nothing. What happened was, the end result was, since she lives over now an hour away from me, I got to drive 45 minutes to a meeting spot, which would be the Council Bluffs Police Department, to meet her with my kids. That's
Yep.
the only thing that happened. So
Wow.
there was no more drop off or pickups at each other's houses. Now I had to drive to meet her 10 minutes from her house, but 45 minutes away from mine
Right.
for pickup and drop offs.
And not only, and then that messes your time up because then you have to also drive them back 45 minutes. So you got to leave 45 minutes, earlier on your time.
Yep.
It's just like, I can't believe that the system is so fucked up that happens.
And I can even read it to you right now because at that time I had every other weekend and 3 hours on Wednesdays.
Yep.
So drive 45 minutes down, pick them up, and it was like, where's the closest McDonald's or whatever that has a
Little play area.
trampoline or play area? Yeah.
Yep. Right. You might as well just stay around that area, and then you got to drop them back off. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Exactly. And then I don't think the court. Well, I know the court system don't care.
Yeah.
That little 3 hours messed with my kids' minds up more than anything. They wanted to spend the night with daddy.
Yeah.
They didn't get the opportunity. So I literally have to pry my kids off of me to hand them to their mom. And that's one of the worst feelings in the world to do.
Absolutely.
So
How old were they when you guys split? I mean, I know you said in diapers, but
they were young. I don't think Ryder was just getting ready to turn 1. So the videos, the recordings, I kept everything.
yeah.
And the judge told me to stop doing that.
Oh, really?
He said,
Stop
"You need to
showing me
stop
evidence.
doing that." Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Wow. Is it illegal, or was he just like, don't do it because we're not going to use it?
Absolutely legal, but he got frustrated because I had so much evidence.
Wow.
He wouldn't let me produce it. I mean, every text message I got, I always printed them all off. I got stacks of them, and I got 2 recorders full. I got them dated, numbered, all in a notebook. This
Yeah.
such and such day, this such and such time. Play this for him.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is same with me. Like I record everything now, but I almost feel like a detective. Like I have everything's labeled, numbered. Like I'm just so organized now with all of it, and it drives me crazy. But it's like I have to do it, and I have court next month, so I pray to God it goes good. But yeah, I've been waiting 6 years. Our system here in New Hampshire is terrible because you can't get in. It just keeps getting pushed back and pushed back. So yeah,
And that's hard on the kids too. 6 years.
it's insane. Yeah,
I mean, and then you got to wait. I don't know how long just to get a result.
right.
It could be an abusive relationship where these kids are in danger, and the court system are just taking their sweet time.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it definitely needs to change for the men out there because, and it's funny because all the dads that I interview or talk to, it's they all have a similar story. They're not trying to rip the kids away from their mom. They're not trying to bad talk the mother. They just want their time with their kids, and then also have the mother have time with their kids and have them grow up in a even though we're not together, a good family, a good home. And it's on the other side, it's not like that. It's very deceitful, and they don't want the dad to have any time. It's so messed up. But almost every single person that I've interviewed is like that.
It's control and money with her.
Yeah.
I told the judge, I think in 2015, I was getting frustrated on the stand. I said, let me just stop this right now because I was frustrated. I said, give her the damn child support. Give me my kids.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now you're an irresponsible parent. I said, God damn, I can't win for nothing.
Right. Unbelievable. So you have to pay for 2 kids child support every month.
Yep, so I'm paying for my 2 kids. She's still collecting from her other ex. She's getting her father's retirement. It's all calculated up to close to $4,000 to $5,000 a month is what she's getting. That is
Jesus.
what's considered not earned income. So therefore, it doesn't work against child support. Her child support is based off of what she makes at this very low wage.
Ah. Yeah.
She's
So
got the system figured out.
yep. So when she fills out her financial affidavit to bring into court, it's only what she makes, which is a little amount. She doesn't have to put the other stuff.
Nope.
Right.
It's not earned income.
Yep.
They're not taxable. So,
It's
and
so
then on top of
ridiculous.
that, she works on the side for her sister-in-law making cash.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
So,
Yep. And then that's hard to prove. But in this case, it wouldn't even matter if you proved it or not because I'm sure the judge just wouldn't even care.
well, in 2015, I got her to admit to it, even to how much she supposedly made. And then on this 2023 case, now she volunteers. She
Yeah.
doesn't get paid. So,
Oh my God. Yep.
yep.
That's wild. Well, damn, man. I hope it gets better for you. I mean, at least in the long run, it sucks that you have to go through this, but your kids will understand. You're there at all the games. You're there for them, and they will realize that, when they're older. So it just sucks that it has to be like this.
If they see it and they already realize it and
Yeah.
they're questioning her mom, and I'm telling them, don't argue with your mom, but they already realize it.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on and sharing your story. I really appreciate it.
appreciate you having me.